Hello, and welcome to Horror Rewind. This is Kelly Florence, and this week I welcome you to our special zombie episode. We're going to be talking about all things zombie. We start off talking about The Walking Dead and a couple of women that we interviewed in Atlanta, Georgia. We also are going to talk about some new zombie movies that we really like. Plus, we'll be revisiting one of our classic drinks that Lisa made for us for Dawn of the Dead. And we'll be talking about one of our very first fast forward pick, which is a current zombie movie called Train to Busan. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this special zombie themed episode. Hi, this is Kelly here from Horror Rewind, and we are talking at the Women in Horror Film Festival. It's right outside of Atlanta, Georgia, in Peachtree City, and it's absolutely beautiful. So I am here with two locals, Melinda Gray and Angie Herod, and we met last night. We're all vendors here at the Women in Horror Film Festival, and because they're local, they have all of these amazing stories to tell about The Walking Dead and filming locations, and how lucky to live here and be able to see the guys and gals and everyone around town. So I was wondering if they would share some stories, maybe tell me a little bit about yourselves, and then some of your stories about talking with and meeting with the Walking Dead cast and crew.
Hi, I'm Angie, and kind of a major fan of TWD. I've met all the characters with the exception of Andrew Lincoln, who is like a needle in a haystack, never out, can't never find him, never see him. I have a better half, which is my sister Andy, and Angie as known as the Not Dead Sisters, and we do live filming for TWD locations, which has an awesome map if you ever want to go look at locations, and it's a map that you can go to in their twdlocations.com page, and that's kind of how we got our name as the Not Dead Sisters. And then my friend here, Melinda, we named her the Bite Me Chick, and I'll let her tell you a little bit about that.
Hi, this is Melinda, and I started a little company called Oh Bite Me, and it all started with an idea I had to print Bite Me on the grease rag that Daryl carries in his back pocket on the show. And about 6 weeks after I put them in the Woodbury shop in Sonoy, I ran into Norman Reedus, and he held one up for me, and we took pictures, and that is how it all started. Since then, I have several more items that I have in the Woodbury shop, and I'm presently doing the real wood Lucille's for the store, and even got to meet Jeffrey Dean Morgan a couple of weeks ago, and he now owns one of the real wood Lucille's that I make. So it's been really awesome.
Very cool. And was it just 2 days ago now when your friend from the UK was here?
Yes.
So just 2 days ago, they got to see Norman Reedus in town. Would you mind telling that story?
Sure. I have a friend, Carrie, who is from the UK, and she was been here for this is her last week. She's been here for 2 weeks, but she's come and gone. She's been doing this 6-week tour of different areas in the U.S. We were at the Sonoy coffee shop, who has the best coffee in town, I have to say, and we saw Norman go by, and in his new little boxy car that he just got, and didn't think that he would, be around, thought he was maybe grabbing something, and we went across the street, was heading over, and sure enough, he pulls up at the stop sign, and I'm like, dark windows, could not even see him, and I'm like waving and saying, UK, she's from the UK, and he rolls the window down and cracks it, and said something to the effect that UK don't want to deal with no UK or something, no British. And then he rolls it down and takes pictures with her, and that made her trip, because she leaves this Sunday, right? Yeah, leaves this Sunday going home. So that right there made her trip.
That's so awesome. So a couple other things I want to talk about. We were talking about how Walker Stalker's coming up in Atlanta, and Melinda said she's not going to be going because she's going to be somewhere maybe a little more exciting. Do you want to tell us where you're going to be?
I will be going to LA to the premiere. A friend, Michelle, invited me to go with her. So it's going to be amazing. I am so excited.
So, as you know, when this airs, The Walking Dead will be premiering on Sunday, and I'm just so excited for the new season, as is everyone. I just love this show. Also, you mentioned earlier that you've been to a lot of filming sites for The Walking Dead. Would one of you mind talking about that and some of those sites?
My sister and I do live feeds on TWD locations, and we like to go out to the sites that have been filmed at and just show this is where they filmed, and that's pretty cool. I guess one of our favorites has to be the Satellites, which was one of Negan's outpost compounds. I guess that's what they're calling it. And that's kind of, it's creepy in a way, because it's literally these huge satellites in the middle of nowhere. So makes you think aliens. But yeah, we've been to several locations. Carol's house, that's a good one. One of my favorites, and I don't know why, I love history as well as I do horror, and there's the old coal house or coal tower. Yeah, they're calling it the coal tower. That's where, when Glenn is looking for Maggie and he has Abraham's army with him, and the walker falls off the top of the coal tower, and Tara falls and hurts her ankle. That tower there, to me, it has history as well, being with the railroad as well as with Walking Dead. Walking Dead uses some of the craziest places they seem to find. It's so cool. But yeah, and you can find all those locations on that map on twdlocations.com.
That is so awesome. And now I wish I had extended my trip and thought about, sightseeing for this week, but I'll just have to come back. It's a great excuse to come back. And what a lovely city, what a lovely area. Everything has been beautiful. Is there anything else that you would like to plug or promote or talk about, either related to your crafts, businesses, or anything Walking Dead related? I'll link to everything, and I will also be posting some pictures on our social medias so you can see everything that we have been talking about.
Troy is a wonderful little town that you just have to come visit, regardless of the Walking Dead. It is a cute little town. So, and
It's our happy place.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is our happy place.
That's awesome.
And there is a wonderful soap shop there called the Woodbury Soap Shop that you have to check out. Make some amazing soaps from essential oils, all natural, and they do have Walking Dead themed soaps.
That is so cool.
Norman and Jeffrey Dean Morgan have their own special soaps, and they received them from AMG.
Yeah, we gave them some Woodbury soap from the soap shop, and that was pretty cool. You'll probably see that picture circling, and I'll get you a picture of those.
Okay, great. That is so amazing. And yes, we are sitting next to the soap shop, and it smells amazing, and everything is so beautiful. I will also link to this so you can see what we're talking about. But thank you so much, ladies, for talking, and can't wait to hear about your trip to the Walking Dead premiere. The Walking Dead will be premiering season 8 on Sunday, October 22nd at 8 p.m. Central. And I am so excited. Something it says here in the Entertainment Weekly article about it is that season 7 may have seemed like it took forever, but the on-screen timeline was actually only 19 days long. And so season 8 picks up just a few days after that. So we're not going to be expecting to see Maggie giving birth because it's only been 19 days, that entire season. And oh my goodness, last year's premiere, spoiler alert, I was so sad. I loved Glenn, and I loved Maggie and Glenn together, and that death sequence. I don't know, people really love Negan, and I think he's a great character, but I feel so triggered when he's on screen. He's still creepy. So The Walking Dead also, this is going to be full of amazing things, but they're going to have their 100th episode in this season. How cool is that? 100 episodes. When this premiered, I was home off of work for 2 weeks because I had my tonsils out as an adult. And if you have had your tonsils out as an adult, you know it's more of a major surgery and it takes a little longer to recover than when kids get their tonsils out. But I was so happy because just a few days after I got my tonsils out, I knew it was Halloween and The Walking Dead was going to premiere. I watched it as it premiered live. I loved it. When my husband got home from trick-or-treating with our son, I said, we're going to watch this. I probably didn't say anything because I didn't have a voice at that point yet, but I put it up on the DVR and we watched it, and he loved it too. So, what a great show. The other thing I love about The Walking Dead, it's a great show that happens to have zombies in it. It's more about the humanity, though, and the characters and the relationships and how we deal with each other instead of just the zombies. But don't get me wrong, I love the zombie action. I'm always looking for that. What an amazing show. I am so excited for the season 8 premiere.
Okay, so we're talking about The Walking Dead, one of my favorite TV shows of all time. And I think why it's one of my favorite TV shows, and of course is the obvious. I love zombies, okay? I fucking love zombies. They're amazing. And I love them in this show. They have so many different types of zombies. They have fat zombies, skinny zombies, young zombies, old zombies. Okay, I love all that. But it's the women. I love the women in this show. Way back in beginning seasons, I remember I was very defensive about Andrea's character, if you remember her. I felt like it was sort of like her versus Lori, and I felt like everybody I talked to was sort of on Lori's side. I hate pitting women against each other anyway, but I thought she was a really fascinating character that I would have liked to have seen last longer. There's Carol. Oh my gosh, she's probably the epitome. I love her arc. She is a domestic abuse survivor, and she's lost her child. I mean, she has nothing. Unfortunately, she has been beaten down to be a weak person. Watching her character develop over these last seasons has been such a delight. She's so kick-ass, but also complicated, and she doesn't want to kill people. So Carol, she is what I aspire to as far as when I'm creating characters. I want someone like that who goes through so much and comes out the other side and is someone we can admire, but is still someone complicated. Okay, there's Maggie. Now, I am such a Glenn fan. First of all, I love him so much. But I'm kind of excited that we get to see Maggie on her own now. She and Glenn had this magical relationship. I'm not happy he's dead. I cried and bawled. It was awful. But she's really flourishing now, I think. We haven't seen much yet, but she is really developing into this amazing leader. And oh my God, like, she's been through so much. She's lost everyone, her sister, her father, her husband, and now she's pregnant. And she's just one tough bitch. I just love Maggie, and she just sticks to her convictions. She's an amazing character. Okay, I keep using the word amazing. You guys, I need to get a thesaurus out. She's a phenomenal character. Who else? Michonne. So Michonne, when she kind of came on the scene, I was like, I don't know if I like her. I'm not really sure yet. She was very quiet. And in the same way that these other characters have changed and grown and all of those things, Michonne has, wow, she's become like this warm mother sort of figure to Carl, and I think to more than just Carl. And I think that's really cool because she definitely did not have that vibe. But then when we saw her background, she was a mother. So, oh my gosh, I really hope she doesn't die. Just like all the other ones I mentioned. I hope they all don't die. I just got sad just thinking about that. So I would love to hear who your fave female characters are from The Walking Dead. I only listed like barely any. So let me know, what females on Horror Rewind do you love? You can tweet us, tell us on Instagram, on Facebook. You can email us. We'd love to know. Okay, so we're talking zombie movies, and I'm sure a lot of you have different favorites. And you probably know, if you listen to Horror Rewind, that Dawn of the Dead is my absolute number one favorite zombie movie. I love it so much. Not just because of the great characters and also because it takes place in a mall, which best setting ever. But I think there's something about the way the zombies are handled. Obviously, it's like really funny, which is good too, and it has a sense of humor with the music and everything. But I think this idea that the zombies sort of have this humanity in them still, so it makes them choose to come to the mall. It makes them sort of, I don't know, want to do these human things, these human tasks. That's something that really resonated with me and made me more interested in zombies. So I really love that about Dawn of the Dead. Another favorite zombie movie of mine is Shaun of the Dead. We probably won't ever do an episode about it in Horror Rewind because it really didn't come out when we were kids. But I could go on and on and on and on about how much I love Shaun of the Dead. That movie is hilarious. And it's also actually scary, too. There's some good scary bits in it. If you have not seen Shaun of the Dead, what are you doing? Go see it now. What else? Oh, my gosh. Well, Night of the Living Dead, obviously. That's a great film. And I just saw, I think it was on NPR. They did a little video I posted on our Horror Rewind Facebook page about how that movie really explored race, which we talk about as well in our very first episode of Horror Rewind. But that's a great film that I think is so important to know and love as a zombie lover. And I do call myself a zombie lover. What other zombie movies? I know as soon as I stop recording this, I'm going to think of like 500 more that I love. What about Warm Bodies? That one was kind of fun because that kind of still explored that idea of zombies sort of having more of a human element to them. There's also Day of the Dead. I haven't seen that one in a really long time. I hope we rewatch it soon for the podcast because that one with Bub. Remember Bub? Isn't that his name? The zombie. He's kind of cute. And, oh my gosh, there's a million more, but those are the ones that kind of come to mind the most, that I love the most. So, yeah, those are my favorite zombie movies. I think I'm probably pretty typical. But you guys, you should shout out to us what your zombie movies are that you love. You can call us on our Anchor station. We love to hear from fans there. Email us, tweet us. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. We want to know what movies you guys love because there are also little known movies, zombie or otherwise, that Kelly and I haven't seen, and we want to get ideas for episodes. So contact us and let us know about zombies.
I was lucky enough to visit New York City this summer, and Lisa greeted me with this drink, Dawn of the Dead Orange Bullet, and it is delicious. If you've ever had an Orange Julius, think 80s mall, and there's still some Orange Julius around. Imagine that, but with alcohol. It is absolutely delicious. And you know, I'm not a big orange juice or orange citrus person, but this drink, I tell you what, it's so good. Hello, welcome to our mixology segment for Horror Rewind. Lisa, how is it in New York?
Callie, it is pretty great. It's a little rainy this morning, but it's New York.
Okay.
You know, I'm okay with it. Sometimes it's a good way to like clean the city, start over.
That's a good way of looking at it. So positive. And yes, in Minnesota, it hasn't snowed in a while. It is May. You know, you never know. We don't put our winter coats away for a while because we're always waiting.
No, I really was just looking through my time hop the other day, and it was like, look, snow from my motherland, because I was up visiting grandma, and yeah, it was like early May, snow on the ground. I'm like, this is what it does.
Yes, exactly. Listeners, we hope wherever you are, the weather is nice. This week we talked about Dawn of the Dead, and what did you create for us?
Well, I was inspired by the fact that this is set in a mall, right? Like, we're just going to hole ourselves up in this mall. Full disclosure, this is the one I was maybe a little afraid to watch, so I turned to Wikipedia.
That's fine.
Like a coward. And so I really was like, what do we love at the mall? What's a staple? And then I thought of the Orange Julius.
Yes.
Like, that was just a joy and a treat to get back as a child. Like, oh my God, wow! Like, can I have all the sugar and will you blend it with juice? Thank you.
Now, are they still around? Do you know?
Orange Julius has been actually bought up by Dairy Queen, a Minnesota local company. So yes, they're around. I don't know if they're everywhere anymore, but they definitely are still around.
Okay, yeah. So listeners, if you don't know this, Orange Julius used to be at least a mall staple. You would see one in every mall, and you could come and get this delicious drink. So tell us how to make it.
Great. So this week's cocktail I'm calling Dawn of the Dead Orange Bullet. We are going to, as I mentioned a couple weeks ago, I want to help you grow a bar. And so we're going to turn back to our bullet bourbon again this week. Again, because the bullet will stop the undead. And here we go. So for this drink, you are going to need, as mentioned, bullet. You will need some milk. Whole milk or 2% is probably ideal. You'll need vanilla extract. You'll need 1 6-ounce can of frozen orange juice concentrate. You'll need a half a cup of sugar and about 2 cups of ice. And then a blender. We will again this week be using a lowball glass for our cocktail, so you'll need one of those as well. And now to make this drink, we are going to pretty much put everything into the blender, except for the bullet. Don't do that first.
Okay.
But go ahead and put the milk, the vanilla, the frozen orange juice, the sugar, and the ice in that blender. If it gets a little thick at times, maybe add a little more milk. Sometimes, blenders can be finicky. But go ahead and blend that up into just an orange vanilla-y dream until, it's pretty fine or you have a little bit of like ice chunks left. It's perfect. This is going to make probably enough for about 4 servings, so get ready. Go ahead, take that blended magic, pour it into your cup, and then I'm going to have you take 1.5 ounces of bullet and pour that in right on top and give it a little stir. And you have yourself a Dawn of the Dead Orange Bullet.
Oh, nice. So how does this one taste? Is it sweet? Can you taste the bullet?
Oh, yes. Again, I'm going to trick you, excuse me, into liking bourbon, everyone. If you don't already, I've more recently become obsessed with it, so I'm going to ease you all into it.
So, yeah,
but yeah.
A little disclosure here. Lisa lived in Kentucky for a year in Louisville, and you became sort of a bourbon connoisseur. Is that what you would say?
I mean, yeah, I would say like entry-level connoisseur.
Okay.
Definitely tried to go to as many distilleries. I think I went to like 9 or 10.
Nice.
Just obsessively loved it. But yeah, this drink, it's sort of like if you've never had an Orange Julius, think of like an orange creamsicle. And then it's just got a little hint of spice with it, and oof.
That sounds amazing.
That's really good.
Well, one of these nights, Meg and I said we're going to get together since we're all in different places, but we're going to get together and make these drinks, and ours probably won't turn out as beautifully as yours, but we're going to learn.
No, it's all about trial, error, mess, and good times. Like, yeah, enjoy it.
Okay, awesome. And where can we find you on social media?
Lisa Ann Bowl on Instagram, and my website's lisabowl.com.
Okay, awesome. We'll talk to you next week.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, so when Kelly and I were coming up with the Walking Dead episode, and that we want to talk about zombies, she mentioned to me that I should talk to you guys about my short story, Dust. So I'm sure by now you guys have heard me go on and on about how I'm an author, and I have a short story collection called Twisted Reveries, 13 Tales of the Macabre, and you can find that on Amazon or wherever. But there is a story that I wrote called Dust, and I was really hesitant to write a zombie story, but my dad and my husband, they both know that I'm a zombie freak. I love them, a zombie lover. And they said, you've got to write a zombie story. But I just kind of felt like, oh, what can I bring new to the genre? So one night I sort of popped up in bed realizing that I just needed to make my zombies a little different. So the story Dust was born. So what happens in Dust? It is a story of Bailey. She's an 18-year-old girl, and she's dealing with zombies that, sort of like how I was talking about in Dawn of the Dead, these zombies she's starting to notice are becoming a little more sentient. They are figuring things out. In fact, the first thing she sees that sort of really disturbs her is a zombie trying to use a key. And what's also cool about my zombies is they are not hungry for brains. They don't want to eat people. They kind of want to be people. Again, that's again like a theme that I just think is very cool, and I think, I don't know, it's fascinating to me. So that's kind of why I chose to write about it in Dust. And you might be asking, why is the story called Dust? Well, although these zombies don't want to actually hurt people, they do, because they emit this sort of death dust out of their mouths and noses. And if humans suck in too much of that, breathe it in too much, they die. So I thought I would read a little excerpt from Dust just to kind of give you an idea. This is just the very beginning of the story. Bailey Reed's dead piano teacher crawled up the gravel incline toward her, no longer concerned with beats per measure or improper recital attire. Instead, the elderly Mrs. Devereaux was pale-eyed and slobbering. She had no real purpose, just to inhabit the earth in her death, somehow both innocent and deadly. Bailey, 18 years old, but with the round baby cheeks and small hands of a much younger girl, stopped pushing her Safeway shopping cart to adjust the wool scarf pressed against her mouth and nose. It was hot, a scorching summer day with no clouds for cover, but the scarf was a necessary element for the post-zombie life. "Hi, Miss Devereaux," she said through the thick red wool. "I'm afraid to say I haven't been practicing lately." Bailey watched the dead woman pant with exertion. "But don't get mad." Mrs. Devereaux barely acknowledged her former student. She tilted her rotting head toward the muffled sound and then simply crawled past Bailey on her green hands and shredded knees. So that's just a little excerpt from Dust, the very beginning. It's the 11th story in my short story collection, Twisted Reveries. Let me know if you guys check out the rest of the story. I'd love to know what you think.
Okay, so the movie I want to talk about is a movie we watched together called Train to Busan. If you guys have not heard of it, it's on Netflix, and it's a Korean film, and it's really good. And it's starring Woo Gong, and Woo Gong is hot.
Yes. Okay, so,
yeah.
Oh, I don't know if there's a name for this. Maybe we'll come up with it. It's the opposite of the Bechdel test, and this guy passes.
Yeah, we will objectify hot guys in horror movies. I think women have been objectified in horror movies enough.
Oh, definitely. So
I think,
and you know what? He's not even objectified. We're just saying he's nice to look at.
Yeah. But that's not why I chose Train to Busan.
No, yes, don't let us turn you off.
Yeah,
it's actually really
no,
good.
it's a really good movie. It has fast zombies in it, which is different than the zombies, the very ambling, slow zombies in Night of the Living Dead. Train to Busan is definitely a faster paced zombie. And these zombies, they don't use tools, I don't think. Do you remember them using tools?
No.
I only remember them they're scary though. They are very scary.
God, sometimes the fast zombies are done well. They are terrifying.
And they're done so well in this movie. You guys, you have to check it out. It's 96% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. I wrote that down because for a horror movie, that's pretty great. There's a character in it that is so much like Harry.
from the Night of the Living Dead. I was thinking about that as I was doing the rewatch. I was like, oh wow, this sort of character really fits well in the genre, and I think is so relatable, because I think a lot of people would be cowards in that situation. And yeah, so there's a great character like that. But the main character, the guy that I was saying was hot, he is just a really complicated guy.
Yeah, he's not 100% likable.
No, he's not. And actually, he kind of comes across another guy who ends up kind of like being more of the archetypal hero. But this guy, the main character, has a little daughter, and they're stuck on a train.
Oh gosh,
it's such a great setting.
Give me any movie, but especially give me a horror movie and there's kids involved, and there's kids' lives at stake, and oh my god, it's so good, and it's so edge of your seat gripping. Like I love this movie, and not just horror wise, but this is one of the best movies I've seen in a long time.
Oh, I agree. And the characters are just so fully fleshed out. The horror is so real, and again, the setting, it's so cool. The whole concept that it's on a train and they are going from train car to train car when basically these zombies start eating people. So yeah, we definitely recommend it. We'll put up the trailer on our Facebook page and maybe our YouTube channel too.
Yeah, definitely check it out. Woohoo! So until next time, this has been Horror Rewind.